Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming back to Living to Do's review of Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 6, Dark Side of the Honeymoon. Well, this is the last few days of the honeymoon, and we see our couples spending quality time, most of them, together. This episode was a little slow. I thought this honeymoon, I don't know if they all enjoyed it. They all looked tan. They all looked really good. Um, but we'll get into the problem child a little bit later. The first couple that we'll talk about will be Jasmina and Michael. Uh, Jasmina and Michael, I think they do have the potential of working out. From what I can see, the problem is Jasmina. But what Jasmina says about Michael is that he gets loud sometimes, a little aggressive. Though we have never seen that of Michael. He seems very calm, very quiet, very mild mannered. Now, I guess he could be totally different when the cameras are not rolling. So we're going to believe all women, but I have not seen that for myself, not even a little bit. Though he did kind of admit to his tone a little bit in the last episode. I just haven't seen it for myself. It hasn't been on camera anyway, not as of yet. Now they had a little tiff last week, and Jasmina believes that her mood is a little off. And I can see it. She seems a little standoffish, a little cold and dry towards him. She does have that overall look of a dry person anyway. She says she's happy, jokes around a lot. And I have seen her smile in the past, but she seems serious most of the time, as does Michael. You would think that matches up, but honestly, I think Jasmina in some ways rubs me the wrong way. Just something about her air, I don't know. They do have a little outing where they go to a little stream of water, and apparently neither one of them can swim, though the water's only a little bit above their ankles, and they are pretty much. Michael laid in it, but Jasmina, she stood in it, and um, I think that's a good activity they both can do is take swimming lessons. That would be interesting. But not really much went on with them. Good luck to them. The next couple that we'll talk about is Katina. I'm sorry, it's Katina and Alajawan. They went horseback riding on their excursion. Again, Alajawan is pushing Katina a little too far. With the horseback riding, and he was trying to go faster. She wanted to go slow. It's almost every season they find somebody who's afraid of horses. Um, um, and she likes that Olajuwon, pushes her a little bit out of her comfort zone, but he tends to over push, and that gets on her nerves. And he needs to, I think he's aware of it. He mentioned it in this episode. He needs to tone that down a bit because that could get old, and after a while she could just dip. But so far so good. I am really amazed at Olajuwon. I thought he would be a lot more wilder than he is, has that like he showed us before he got married. But they seem to be lovey-dovey. They're taking it slow, and I like their pace. It's new, exciting, fun. They still got a lot of things to look forward with one another. So far, I like it. I'm surprised by it, but I'm happy for them both. The next couple that we'll talk about will be Noy and Steve. They go to a little body of water, the two of them. Apparently, Noy doesn't know how to swim, but Steve, of course, knows how to swim. He's very adventurous, and he was teaching Noy how to float. And it was really cool. He got her to calm down, relax, and she was taking his instructions very well. Everything seemed so cool until fish started biting Steve's feet or legs, which made him jerk, which he had her in his had Noy in his arms, and he jumped, and that made her unsteady, but it was cute. I would hate it though if fish were biting me. That's just, ugh. I just cannot. Okay, the next couple that we'll talk about is Lindsay and Mark. Lindsay and Mark, after their spat last week, they're getting along great. And Lindsay, for what we can see so far, has knocked down that aggressiveness, that energy, a couple of pegs. And I thank her. That was too much even for TV to watch. That poor guy has to live with it, sleep with it. That's just too much. They talked about having kids. She wants, interesting. Twins would work for her. She wants either one child, two kids, or four. She just doesn't want three. I don't know if three is just an unlucky number, but not three. One, two, or four. Where she's just not going to stop at three. Which is interesting. She should elaborate a little bit more on that. Why is three the unlucky number for her? They did a couples massage, which Mark needed. Apparently, Mark's landlord, who came to his wedding, and he considers her as his second mom, kept calling. She kept calling incessantly for him about his apartment that he's leasing from her. There's some issue with some bed bugs, which is alarming, and that she's raising his rent. His why is she calling so much? She's calling in the middle of the night. She's in Boston. They're in Puerto Rico. That's the same time zone. So why are you calling him in the middle of the night like that? She is crazy out of her mind. He says the landlord looks at him as her son, but why would you treat anybody like this? You know he's on his honeymoon because you attended the wedding. Leave him alone. Let him be with his new wife. Let him be on his vacation, his honeymoon, and stop calling. One call is way too much. So all the calls you made, that's just crazy. Oh my God. I wonder how she feels, how people knowing that she's his landlord acting like that. I don't know. It's a little, I don't know. Maybe she's jealous. It's just weird. So what can he do about anything that's going on at home while he's in Puerto Rico? And the new lease that he has will have no cats. All of a sudden they have 5. He already had 3. And she must have known that. And now she's telling him, you are my tenant. I'm raising the rent and no cats. But Lindsay came to the rescue, which is great because that is his wife. She said, move all your stuff into my place. No problem. We're going to get you out of there. She solved the problem. The only thing with Lindsay is, which is great, I guess in this accelerated process of a marriage, you should be there for one another. However, she probably should think that through a little bit. You don't know if this is going to last and you're going to kick him out. And where is he going to be? I don't know what Mark feels about that. He didn't really say much. I think he would appreciate the offer, and maybe that's what he's going to have to do for the time being. But I'm glad she stepped up, and she stepped up quick without blinking her eyes. She knew she's going to take care of him. His stuff is all in her place. I don't know. We'll see if that turns out to be the best idea or if they could find another solution. So the last couple, if you can call them a couple. So we have Chris and his dead weight, Alyssa. I think he realizes that Alyssa is mistreating him, not keeping her distance from him, ignoring him. Alyssa believes she's acting like everything's normal. I don't know what this woman is thinking. I just don't know. They had their little time together where they were playing tennis. You would think there would be no issues there. They were playing tennis. She comes inappropriately dressed in flip-flops. Um, she's just not taking this process seriously at all. Um, I was hoping that the ball would hit her, the tennis ball. But if that tennis ball would have hit her, she would have lost her ever-loving mind. She would have complained. Um, she would have been running, kicking, and screaming that the ball accidentally hit her because the ball came from him. Uh, they had a sit down talk after at the tennis court, and they talked about the apartment that they're going to be going to in the next couple of days. You know, the couple's apartment, and she says that she's not comfortable. Of course, we already knew this. Being in the apartment with him, she wouldn't be comfortable. She uses these words to as weapons against him. He never did anything. Fine, you're not comfortable, but I don't believe you. Um, he was more than willing to let her have the apartment. She, she, she wants to have the experience with being with the girls, um, but she doesn't. The girls are they're newlyweds. They don't want the experience really with being with you. They have husbands to tend to. So you just can't be at this apartment and you're not dealing with your husband. You're going to go around looking at bothering them. Um, so we know this living arrangements is going to be an issue. Um, she broke off and talked to the producers, and he did too as well. And he was talking, and she's looking over at him as he's talking to the producers, and he's using his hands to explain something or point at something. And this girl had the nerve to say she doesn't like his hand gestures, that they were aggressive. At one time he was just talking with his hands. They weren't even being aggressive, pointing at something in the sky. I mean, what is wrong with her that even this man's hand gestures from afar, not even have anything to do with her, he's in conversation with somebody else, bothers her? Everything, the air he breathes bothers her. What I love to get to the root of her problem. What is her problem? How does she justify this behavior? She doesn't make any sense at all. No, she's claiming that they're not compatible, and everything's a problem. Later we see Chris. He's in his hotel room, alone, of course, and he's on a FaceTime call with his sister. And she's asking with a big smile, not knowing what's going on, "How's it going?" He says it's not what he thought it would be. Now, Alyssa's talking to the producers, and she says she's sick of being positive. She says that Chris is an asshole. He's rude and disrespectful, and she doesn't like the way he's treating a woman like that. Like what? Alyssa is the ultimate Karen. She's making this crap up. Um, Chris was told by his sister in their conversation that she spoke with her people, Alyssa's mother, and Alyssa's mother told Chris's sister that Alyssa flies off the handle. She cries all the time. His sister recommended that he just cut his losses and let it go. Don't waste any more time on it. It's just embarrassing. Um, Alyssa knows that her mother is mad at her because she's not being nice to Chris. Her mother knows all about her. Later, Alyssa, she meets with Katina and Jasmine. The three of them are out at the beach talking. They're out talking about Alyssa's marriage. Um, Jasmine asked, have you done everything you could do? And Alyssa believes she has. Um, Now, I thought Katina, she said some really, she talked to Alyssa like she should have been talked to. It was very calm. It came from a friend. Um, she was asking if if Chris knows why, you know, her feelings. Does he know why she feels the way she does? Are her feelings about him unclear to him? Katina said straight out, you're not attracted to him. That's it. You're not attracted to him, and you need to be blunt and tell him so. Because this is not fair to him. Jasmine says that she didn't say to Katina, she didn't say to Alyssa, but she said, I guess in her on the camera by herself, that that she didn't give Chris a chance. Not from day one. She didn't give him a chance. Mark and Chris and Lindsay met up, and Mark feels so bad for him. He thinks that he should let this go, and that to me was solid advice. People are getting, just stop. But Mark keeps trying. He just keeps trying. I'm like, this girl is hurting you. She's just hurting you and embarrassing you. First of all, look at the whole picture. Do you want a wife like that? Stop trying. She's embarrassing. You can't bring her nowhere. You can't live in a home with her. You've only known this woman for what, less than an hour. She started mistreating you, and her whole family says the same thing. It's just, oh, he needs to stop. Just stop. And unless someone's putting you up to this, that you're not going to get your money, but you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have to make a fool of yourself. Even if the cameras are not rolling, but especially if the cameras are rolling, just stop this nonsense. They do have a group dinner on their last night of their honeymoon. Everybody comes out. And, cameras, the conversation turns to mainly Alyssa and Chris's relationship. Everybody else spoke about theirs a little bit, but the talk of the town is Alyssa and Chris's marriage, or lack thereof. Alyssa proposes at dinner that Chris live in the couple's apartment when they get back to Boston for the first month, and she gets it for the last month. Now, this was news to Chris. This type of conversation should have been in private, because he had not heard of this, and he wasn't down for this. He wants to try this marriage out if she wants to try, or stop it altogether. And if she doesn't want to try, then she can have the apartment all to herself. He won't be bothered with it at all, because she wants to spend time with her friends, but he says, no offense, but I'm not here for the other couples. I'm here for a life partner, and I'm wasting my time if this is not what's going to happen. She keeps stringing him along saying, well, I'm here, so I'm trying, I'm here. I could have left a day ago, but I'm here. That doesn't mean you're trying. You're here and you're causing pain. And I thought if Alyssa, or actually if Chris would have sprung on her what she sprung on him at dinner, this girl would have had a whole meltdown. And she wouldn't have been able to recover. So, I mean, she acts like she can do whatever she wants to him. And if he says one thing out of line, or an octave too high, she loses it. She walks away. I mean, the immaturity level of this girl, and how the experts did not get wind of any of this. How is it that every season you can find the bottom of the barrel people to participate in this experiment? That means you're doing it on purpose, because there's just way too many applicants. They're halfway normal, or we can't detect any craziness at this early in the game, but yet you continuously find one year after year. um Chris says that Alyssa is treating the apartment like a divorced parents, like you get one week and I get the next, and he just wasn't interested in that. They're just so dumb. um Alyssa was trying to explain. She doesn't explain very well, um, her situation. She believes she's a nice person. She has the best intentions. As she's saying this, Lindsay has a smirk. Clearly, she has a smirk on her face. She denies it. Alyssa calls her out. She says, "Please don't do that when I'm talking, Lindsay." Lindsay's, "I didn't do anything." Lindsay said, admitted that she had to look at the palm tree, dirt, anything but Alyssa, because she doesn't have a poker face. She calls BS on everything that she's saying. It's just this dinner scene I thought was, they're supposed to be on their honeymoon and happy, and Alyssa just makes it very uncomfortable. Her energy, her attitude, she's just not a good person at all. But yet she keeps reminding everybody, "I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I don't deserve this. I'm a good person." She thinks she got gypped. Oh my God, poor Chris. He got gypped. He just got raked through the coals for something he didn't even do, just for being himself. And everybody, all the couples, they don't say it in her face, but Olajuwon thinks that she's out of her mind, as does Mark, as does Lindsay. Everyone doesn't think she's put her best foot forward in the relationship. Olajuwon, he was in a confessional, and he was just preaching. He really felt for Chris. Chris was trying, and Alyssa wasn't, and she's just making a mockery of this whole experiment that she wants to be so badly a part of. Later, after dinner, they meet, looks like in somebody's hotel room, and it's clear to Chris now, after hearing Alyssa talk and not, trying to engage with him, that she just wants to be a part of, I guess, all the amenities, the wedding, the free trip, the apartment, being on TV, because her language that she says, she talks about the experience, and that's all she pretty much wanted, is just to experience this. And she just, if she's not into him, bow out. Why drag each other along this way? Alyssa's trying to explain to him about their differences. Well, she keeps saying the differences. That's the thing. She doesn't actually say what it is. When he asked her, "What are our differences?" she couldn't answer. She was mumbling and, "I'm not ready to talk about it right now." Because is it something so painful that you can't tell him, like it's his looks? Um, she's talking in circles. She makes absolutely no sense. Chris needs to just, he needs to jump ship and cut ties and cut his losses with this lady. She's delusional. I don't even see why you would want to try with somebody who mistreats you like this so long, so intensively, and never lets up. I don't see how you'll ever get along. And he just tries to argue his point of view. You can't do that with her. She weaponizes those tears. She becomes the ultimate Karen, starts her crying. "I'm a good person. I'm a good person." I don't know if that's a mantra that she has told herself that she needs to continuously say to herself to make it true. Um, she's just she's just an awful, awful person. She thinks that he is assassinating her character, making her look bad on camera. They only take the footage that you give them, Alyssa? What did you give them that showed yourself in a positive light? Just calling yourself a good person is not nearly enough. Okay, so the next episode, they'll be going back home and they'll be seeing their apartments for the first time. It'll be interesting to see where Alyssa and Chris lands. Um, at this point, neither one of them need to be filming anymore. There's nothing more to say. It's sad. I wish things turned out differently for Chris. He deserves better. Alyssa doesn't deserve anything but intense psychotherapy. I hope she seeks it. I hope she looks back at the filming of her, and realize it's not the editing, it's you. You even acted this way on the Married at First Sight after party when you were a guest speaking to Keisha Knight Pulliam, who is, everybody knows, America's sweetheart. Rudy on the Cosby Show. She's just the sweetest girl ever, and you walked out on her. You are the common denominator of all the problems. You can just take all this filming that they have, all this footage of you, and share this with whatever therapist you select and unpack what's really going on in your life. Unfortunately, that's it for Married at First Sight. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. Also, find me also on Fanbase. I'm on Fanbase. I hope you all will join me. I'm there under the same name, Living to Do. And for now, that is it. I gotta go because I got living to do. See you next time. Bye.